Hey guys, Stella here through Max Niagara. So today, guys, I want to go over why I got into real estate. So let's get right into it. So, as you may know, when I started or when I was in university in the first years, we had these, I guess you call it student homes. Okay, so I had a friend that lived on a certain street, and I would go visit her. We would do some studying together, and I did notice a house that was for sale. And I remember keeping an eye on it and being like, you know what? We could probably convert that. And I did notice at the back there was some room to actually sever the rear and sell the lot. And so, just so you know, I was already doing some creative financing. This is how it came to my mind because I wasn't just a genius that knew. I was already studying during high school and beginning of university about how to do this creative financing, okay? So I saw this, I told my dad, I was like, this property right here, I'm pretty sure we can do that. Like, why couldn't we? Why couldn't we? So he was like, you know what, you're right, let's buy it. So my dad purchased it, okay? And we went ahead, we converted to 6 bedrooms, okay? And at the time, I think the max you could do was 5, but we still did 6, so But we rented out all the bedrooms, okay? And then at the same time, so I was managing the bedrooms, the rentals, and at the same time, I was trying to get my dad to see if we could sever the rear portion, okay? So we were relying on a real estate agent to give us this information, and all he had to do was go to the city and ask, okay? He went ahead and asked, and he said, he says he did, okay? And just to give you some clarity, he was a family friend that we used. And as a lot of you guys might have, a lot of family friends, okay? Friends are fantastic, but sometimes they're not the greatest for business, okay? So I'll leave that there. Anyways, it was a family friend, and my dad was like, well, can we do it? Can we do it? And he ended up coming back to us and being like, no, we can't do it. It's not gonna work. And I'm like, there's no way. Like I studied this. Like I know what I'm doing, right? So I was so discouraged. Like you have no idea. And I felt so bad because my dad put his money down for it. So long story short, we basically had to get rid of it because we were hoping to make about $100,000 at that time severing that lot. Okay. And this was a neighborhood that was literally down the road from Brock University. Okay, like it was prime location. I forget the address right now, but it was prime location. You could literally walk down to the Penn Center. Okay, there was transit there. There was everything. And so the agent was like, no, can't do it. So we're like, all right, we're gonna have to sell it. So we ended up trying to sell it. For some reason, it wasn't selling, even though it was a fairly well rented unit. And so this agent was like, no, we've got to lower the price, kept lowering the price, and then we ended up selling it. Unfortunately, we sold it at a loss, which made no sense. And I'm sitting here like, this doesn't make sense, right? I'm letting the older people deal this, negotiate this out. But it just didn't make any sense to me, okay? So anyways, long story short, we ended up selling at a loss, and in our heads, we weren't able to sever, so I felt like crap, okay? I was like, man, maybe this isn't for me. Guess what? A year later, we find out the person that purchased the property from us ended up severing the property. Can you believe that? Okay, so this is where I'm not sure if the agent didn't know what he was doing and should not have helped us, or if he had somebody that he could double end and make a really quick buck and helped out somebody else. Okay, I don't know. To this day, I don't know. But all I know is that agent basically did a horrible thing to us because we lost $100K and we lost money on a property that was actually being rented out for a good price. It was making money. So how could it have been sold for such a low price? Long story short, I was frustrated because that wasn't the only one that happened on. Okay, and not only did we use that agent, we got a referred agent. Okay, that agent did the same thing. He had no clue, and I'm like, these men, they're both men. Okay, and these men were at the time like in their 50s, 60s, and this is what happened, right? So it just didn't make any sense to me where I'm like, okay, if we can't even trust a family friend, if we can't trust somebody who has tons of experience, okay, which, by the way, that irritates me because it's like, you've got no experience. You've got only 3 years experience. It doesn't matter. In real estate, at this level, like, it doesn't matter. 3 years to learn the industry, you can do it. It depends on the person. You're like, anyways, that's for a different video. But okay, so who could you trust? Who could you trust? So I was like, you know what? The only person I trust right now is myself. So I went ahead and actually got my license. And that's the only reason I did it. It wasn't because I was like, you know what? I want to make a lot of money and do it myself. No, I didn't even check I didn't even care what the guy was making, because all I was caring about was how much I'm going to make my dad, right? Because here's the thing, guys, like, even though I was investing this, I wasn't taking the money. I was making no money off this. Every single cent went to my dad. The rent, if we were to sever it, that would have all went in his pocket, okay? But here's the thing. There is a good ending, because after I did get my real estate license, I did find a few properties that were a tremendous deal for my father, and he made multiple times 6 figures. And so, you know, I recouped whatever it was that I lost the time, not from my own fault, but because of the fault of somebody that we used. And so that's kind of why I got it. That is 100% why I got into, not kind of, 100%. And so this is why I say this to you guys, like, it's not so much about who you, like, you know, I get it. You want to support your family friend, but at the end of the day, if you're investing in real estate, you need somebody who is involved, who understands the industry, okay? It's one thing to have somebody sell your house, which doesn't take that much, I guess, brain power to do. It's marketing. It's, you know, making sure your price is right based off comparables. But when you're trying to do creative financing, or trying to buy things that are a little bit more, I guess, complicated, like farmland, if you haven't lived on a farm, like, you don't know how septics works and cisterns and wells. I've lived on a farm, so I understand that. So even at my age, like, I maybe I'm a little bit, maybe not the average, I guess, person my age, but I took care of a lot of those things. I went on the tractor and I helped my father, you know, take care of the land. Like, I guess I'm a little different in that aspect, where I learned a lot of things at a young age, and I'm not your average person or average agent. I go above and beyond. I seriously do. I don't just say that. I actually do. And so that's why I got into real estate. I got into real estate because I did not want other people going through that, and I did not want us to continue going through that. And at the end of the day, give people value, help them, and they will be your client for life. And that's one thing I never understood. And I think, yeah, at the end of the day, you get what you get, and that's why I'm in real estate. So if you're somebody who, you know, you're not quite sure who to use, you don't really want to use maybe a friend or a family member just because of maybe privacy reasons or whatever the case is, like, I'm open to having a conversation with you, because at the end of the day, you're not wasting my time. I'm helping you make sure you don't end up in a terrible position. And for me, I'd rather that. Like, I don't care if it takes me 5 years for my commission to come out of you. Like, I don't care about that. I want to make sure that you're set up for the future, because I know what it feels like to be in financial distress. And my parents were never rich. Like, they're very well off now, but we grew up poor. And so I get it. I understand. And it's not a good feeling. And so I just want to make sure that if I have any way of benefiting or helping somebody in that position, I want to be there for them. And so that's why I got into real estate. Did I mention that's why I got into real estate? But yeah, so if you want to learn more, guys, let me know. I'm more than happy to talk with you. And again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.